Hey guys, Aaron here. I've recently shot in a lot of Instax film after I found this camera at a pawn shop for just $30. How many Instax film, you may ask? Well, how about this much? Yeah, I like Instax much better than Polaroid. It has just much better colors and it's more reliable. See, just look at these images. That's just what happens when you point Instax directly at the sun. Oh, by the way, this is what happens when you try and write your name on the Instax film with a laser. Got the amazing blue, green, and reds. You got really good skin tones. Here's some nice doggies. Versus these. Purple clouds, red, orange, purple. And in a few of the pictures, there's like chemical splotches or whatever this is. See, like bleeding out from the chemicals at the bottom, a streak here, and whatever this is. One up here and one big one down here. And look at this big thing. The only spot like that on any of my Instax films are in this one image. Look at the old Daisy dog. Out of this many Polaroids that I've shot, the only ones that I think have accurate colors are these four. Pretty good greens and highlights. Nice greens and blues. Again. And the sun was going down, so this is a pretty blue scene anyway. Yeah, 4 out of however much this is. Well, maybe that's just because I'm using a crappy Polaroid Spirit camera that has no autofocus or even a flash, but the colors really should be correct if it's a new modern film. But even the brand new modern Instax cameras aren't the best. They only have one lens, one shutter speed, 60th of a second, and only 5 different apertures. f8, f12, f16, f22, and f32. So what if we put one of these unexposed into a manual professional camera? Well, these definitely can't fit in a 35mm camera. So what about a 4x5 camera? In the last video, I showed you the first time I shot film through this. Since you could basically put any type of film in here and then develop it just like normal film, what if we put an Instax film on here and then put it in the camera? So the way to do this, you just take an empty 4x5 film canister, flip it open. You have to have a dead piece of film, and then you put sticky tack or just a little bit of tape on the edges right in the middle, so you can put the film right like this. Since this side is a film emulsion, you have to place it like this. The image will expose right side up on the other side. So after you've taken the picture, pull this out, and in a dark bag, open this up, gently take it out, and place it in a cartridge. You might have to peel the plastic off here. Gently put it in there. Still in the dark bag, place this in there. And now you can take it out of the dark bag, go like this, and then just take a picture. And then wait for it to develop. So to start out with, I did some test images on the last 2 shots of another cartridge. Yeah, I guess I properly exposed for the trees and not the shadow of my house. But the clarity on this is pretty good. Here's the second of those 2 test shots. Yeah, the HDR of Instax film is not that much. Now we got the first of my next roll. Yeah, the Instax film is daylight balanced, so this is all yellow, and it's a bit overexposed, but it's pretty good in my opinion. Okay, now let's take a shot you definitely can't do with Instax cameras. This one was a long exposure of a night shot outside. Yeah, I guess it wasn't long enough, and the aperture wasn't close enough because you could tell it's out of focus. Then I did a shot with lots of detail in it, my Christmas tree. This one, I wanted to get something with lots of detail, so I shot my bamboo trees outside. And then I shot the same thing with the Instax camera, and it's much more wide open. And here's my DVD collection. Yeah, it's a bit underexposed, but you can definitely make out all the titles. Okay, now let's do a portrait of my father. Then I tried to do some portrait shots. The exposure on this is pretty good, even though it's contrasty.
That is him.
And then there's me. Look at that handsome devil. Yeah, this one is a bit underexposed, but pretty good. But it's pretty good for Instax film because this camera would just be out of focus at that distance. So those Instax images look pretty cool. But wait, can a Polaroid fit in one of these? They can. Guys, I just thought of a new idea. I'm gonna take Polaroid images like this. Now I know I just spent the beginning of this video bashing Polaroid's color film, so I decided to buy black and white Polaroid film to test that out. So since the light positive side is on the front of the film rather than the back, because there's a mirror inside the camera that flips the images, you have to make sure to put the Polaroid front side up. So just do the same process as Instax film with the Polaroid. In a dark bag, you just take this out, put it in a still functioning cartridge, put it in the camera in the dark, and it should spit it out. And then you wait for it to develop. So this is my first black and white Polaroid, let alone my first black and white Polaroid in a 4x5 camera. Yeah, I accidentally left the aperture wide open instead of turning it down to like f16. So I turned it down to f16 for the next shot. And as you can see, the frame is supposed to be like this. So yeah, when you put the Polaroid in the camera, make sure to tilt the camera on its side. This side down so the image is right side up. Then I tried to do an outside shot. It wasn't even a snowy day, it was just dark and overcast. But I exposed for the black of the trees and not the skies. But this makes it look pretty artistic and dramatic. And here's a night shot. It was a really foggy couple days, so I decided to take advantage and take a nice long exposure night shot. Yeah, this is really testing the HDR of the film. Ignore this. That same foggy day, I drove to a trail. Yeah, there's supposed to be a whole horizon here, not just a few bushes. And then I shot this with the actual Polaroid camera. Yeah, I turned up the brightness a little, and that somehow made it very overexposed. Even though it was a dark, overcast day, and these cameras are supposed to be auto-exposed for bright sunshine, but whatever. Hey, did I mention how much I don't like Polaroids? Then I shot a portrait of my mom. Yeah, this exposure turned out pretty good. And then for the last shot, I shot it through a lens ball. Also, disregard this. And this. And this. This is when I accidentally opened the cartridge. So that was me trying to shoot instant film on a 4x5 camera. Yeah, for time saving, I recommend just using the normal cameras. And for Polaroids, I suggest not buying a crappy plastic camera and buying one of the good ones, like a 680. It'll be a miracle if I can find one of them with autofocus and flash and everything. That's Savers or something. But at least I proved you could shoot with incompatible types of film and film cameras. Oh great, now I have to clean all this up.